good afternoon, good evening, whatever you may be. Thank you so much for coming to this new edition of the podcast, the Galaxy Media Podcast. Let it be free, be open. We're here talking about relationship between the African American culture and the African culture. What is it? Yes, we all have friends, that have dated African American or vice versa. We're here to talk about this relationship today. And I'm not in the studio by myself today. I'm here with Christy, the beautiful. Christy,
Hello.
how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Pretty good. You look good today.
Thank you.
I like the lip gloss.
It's poppy, right?
It's poppy. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. And then today I'm not by myself. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Yes, first time.
Yeah,
hopefully it won't be my last.
Oh, no, it won't be your last, definitely. And then on my right, we have Tom Gaiello. Tom, how you doing, sir? Here in Dallas.
Doing good. It's Tom Gaiello. Here too for the first time, and obviously it's not going to be the last time as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much.
Interesting topic.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're talking today about relationship, between the African community and the African American community.
Yep.
Christy, let me start with you. You've dated an African community. You've dated Africans, and you've also dated African American. And the male, are they the same or they're different? Is there any advantage of dating African men? It got to be. Well, I don't know.
It has to be. I'm still trying to figure that out. I just think if you guys are respected, I think y'all are good. And that's African and Americans.
Okay.
When you say respect. But yeah, especially because the answer, the vibe that I get for you is not what I get from other African American. So how could that be?
I'm just Chrissy. I just trailblaze my own lane,
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I will say this. In my dating experience with African men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are big on respect, like I said. So y'all don't like to be talked to crazy. Y'all like to be talked to nicely, talk to the king in them, cater you, butter you up here and there. But again, that's African American men as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned African men, y'all like what y'all like. When you want what you want, you're going to get what you want when you want it, how you want it. It ain't no compromise in those, in those areas. So, I don't know. I think it's good either way. What you prefer?
What do you think, Tom Gallo? Are you siding what you're saying, or you think something different?
Yeah,
I mean, you've lived in Africa. You're not living out of state. What do you see?
Yeah, I understand the one when she talked about the respect. We're big on respect, because in Africa we are very traditional.
Okay.
We're very traditional. In Africa.
When you mean traditional, what do you can you explain to that? What do you mean by we are very traditional?
In Africa.
Mm-hmm.
The woman is the woman and the man is the man.
Okay. The woman's the man. Okay, so.
And there are certain roles that traditionally the woman takes and the man takes. So in Africa, we see half those roles. Like the woman in Africa, the woman has to cook. She's the one who feeds the family.
So in a marriage, in a relationship, when a woman comes into a man's life, one of her primary roles is to cook.
That's how it is with us.
Yes, in Africa, okay.
The woman has to cook. Then, because usually the man is the one who takes care of, the bills, the house rent, the bills,
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things.
Because you have to say, in Africa, not a lot of women works.
Well, so
that's why the man is taken care of.
That makes sense. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But still, the women know that, even though a lot of them work, but they know that. So what they do for the women who work, they cook a lot of food. Like let's say during the weekend, cook so much food, and just keep it, and they just have to heat it up. Like during the week, that's still part of cooking. But it's not like they have to cook every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's not like they have to cook every day. No, they don't have to cook every day. You see, just cook a lot. Just the main thing is that we know that the food we eat in the house, it has to be from mom.
Yeah.
What she cook, we're not gonna eat from outside. And like she spoke about respect too. Yeah, that's one thing about Africans.
Mm-hmm.
When you're with a man, you can't
be shouting on him, right?
Culture,
you cannot be shouting on him.
Yeah.
Even if it's wrong, you get in an argument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard for us to take certain kind of So that's the thing. That's why because we're very traditional.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that comes from. I'm actually interested in hearing another thing, another difference you see between dating Africans and African Americans.
Yeah.
So Africans, y'all know y'all want to get married, right? It's almost like a...
What do you mean we know we're going to get married?
I have not talked to an African guy who just was like refraining to get married. Like he just knew that he wanted to get married.
Yes,
it's almost something that's like in his blood and in his bones that he knows that he wants to get married.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, okay, yeah, because in Africa, success for you mean you have a wife, you have some kids, you have maybe probably like a good job.
Yeah.
You know, and that you have a wife. That's the primary thing,
Yeah.
especially if you're a male.
Right.
Especially if you're the first male. So is that the
And I
feeling
feel
that
like
you have?
African Americans put us through so many hoops and loops and all this stuff to prove that we're worth being a wife. I feel like Africans see a wife when they see a wife.
Okay.
Like they know a wife when
Okay.
they see one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mean like African American they would do a longer date
Yeah.
and in order for them to understand that okay, this is the one I want to be with.
Right.
But African, they're like, oh, you know what? I want to be with her. So it's
Exactly.
okay. And then
That.
hey, you know what? Let me put a ring.
And
on
I'm
that.
not saying that that's not the case with certain African American men, but I've seen it more so in the African community.
Okay. Now, when go ahead.
No,
Tom.
well, I just wanted to actually just reinforce the point you said. But like he said, it's because that's actually one of the things that is seen as successful in Africa.
I love
Getting
it.
married, like having a family, you have your wife and your kids, like
Right.
you have your children with that wife,
Right.
Not children with another.
Only unless you're
That-
polygamous. Yeah.
Unless
Unless-
Have you met any African that talks about
No.
polygamy?
No.
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 Now, when it comes to an argument, how
Yeah.
are the African men handle it different than African American men? Because from what I cannot, tell me what you think.
They pray.
they do it.
They pray.
African men,
Yeah.
Wait, no, we're talking about like argument. Like,
yeah, in an argument, she said they pray.
Well, I don't think I argued. Okay.
No, like serious argument, like.
Yeah, like
So I've not had a
fight,
serious.
just fight, bro.
So I've not had a serious argument with an African.
Okay.
I've not.
but you've seen. Oh, maybe you. Mhm.
I've heard.
Okay, well, you've heard.
I've heard.
What did you hear?
Y'all talk real fast now. Y'all talk real fast. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't think it get physical.
Okay.
I don't think it get physical.
Yeah.
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 No, African men are not. They're not violent.
Yeah,
They're
I've
violent
not
at all.
heard-
Unless, they're not very. I don't know any African men who are. Well, they are all, but I have
sure.
not met one who is actually violent.
Right.
Towards American. And one of the things,
Right.
like a lot of African are. What do you think when it comes to an argument in America? How does a African man handle with an American girl? What do you think when?
You know, it's still it is something that is still tough for us, for African men to handle, because in the West, I'm saying the West because in general, the US, Europe,
You're on the West, yeah,
people
far
are
west.
significantly more expressive.
Like they say what they
They
mean.
say what they mean, and especially in America, Americans are known to say what they mean.
Oh yeah,
Right.
It's a free country.
It's a free country, because-
Yeah.
But in Africa, we don't always say what we want to say. Then sometimes when someone is kind of like in a I want to say dominant, but again, when I say dominant, I'm not belittling like the woman. It's just like, let's say, the head of the household. In Africa, when someone is the head of the household, they're not expecting someone who's not the head of the household to talk to them in some kind of way. It goes back to the thing you talk about respect.
Yeah.
So if an argument happens, in Africa, we know, like, we kind of can gauge the level where our woman can go to. But here, we're not. We
You
don't
don't
know.
know.
Like, the level here is like way beyond. So,
0 to 100 real
it catches
quick.
us by shock, yeah. We kind of like we shocked, especially when we start dating. We shocked on the way she's talking about to us.
Right.
We don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
something
that's
fast
the-
and
Yep.
yeah. I mean,
Because she says what she says. She says. what
she said,
wants.
she expressed
Yeah.
her feelings, and
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's what I think.
But it's a good thing. It's
Mhm.
actually a good thing.
Is it?
No, it's not a good thing to shout on the man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I prefer, honestly, not to even argue. If a person takes me to that place where I feel like we are possibly even gonna go to that place, cut it. Like, I don't have the energy, and I would prefer you not to have that type of energy in my life. So yeah, I just don't have time.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
This argument, they're talking about this argument stuff, especially with us African men when we come here to this Western world. It's something that is a hard pill for us to swallow at the
Okay.
beginning. You argue with your black American girl, and she's talking about you in a way you don't expect. Because in the African, we spoke in the beginning. She mentioned something about respect. The king wanted me to talk to him in some type of
Respect.
way.
Told you.
So, in the culture back home,
Yes.
we don't expect someone who is not like there's usually like a dominant one and the one who's
Follower.
yes.
There's a lead and a follower.
And the lead and the follower.
Right.
And again, it's not to belittle the woman. It's not to say the woman is
But the woman should follow the man. That's
Has to lead.
no, it's not belittling.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
It's a fact.
If I see any man who's following with women, I'm never gonna talk to you. I mean, what kind of man are you? I don't care if
I
you
get
don't make
it.
a dime.
Yeah.
You know, you understand? That's what
Yep.
it is, Tom Gaello, right?
Yep.
But
So that's the thing. So we don't expect our woman to talk to us some kind of way.
Right.
you mean our women? You mean African women?
No.
Okay,
our
any
General.
woman, general.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Even if it's a Chinese woman.
They should
You
talk
know?
to us with respect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
But now when we get to the US, because here in the US, people are way significantly more expressive. They say what they mean. And they mean what they say. It takes us by shock sometimes, like we cannot believe she's saying what she's saying to us because
Right.
it's something that we're not used to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's until we be with them for a while. So usually those first arguments, you know, it's not.
And that is true. Let me
Yeah.
my fixed experience when I dated this African American girl, the first time when I came to the state, and we had an argument, I turned around and said, wait, where am I? The amount of cuss word that she said in one sentence, I could not believe it. And I've
Combination.
never heard, imagine you coming to America, you're struggling to understand English, but
Yeah.
yet you found a girlfriend at a university or at a college, and she like you like her, but when you cross that bad line with her,
Yeah.
and she starts to cuss you out every kind of way,
Yeah.
I don't understand half of what she was saying. I'm trying to figure out what she was saying, but yet she already found another curse word.
Right.
Calling me all kinds of names. Blah, 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 blah. I said, whoa, where am I? You know?
Yeah.
So the things like, you know, most of African, they are afraid sometimes to date African American girls because they always feel that, okay, if I'm going to be with this one, she might just, and they're always ready to fight. Some of them, they're always ready to fight. If you say something that they don't like, they're ready to fight.
The thing is, the woman should be able to express herself.
Right.
Especially if it's something that the man is doing, especially if it's the man she's dealing with. You know, if it's something just exterior, something out of the house, it's not as important. But if it's something that the man is doing that makes the woman feel some type of way, you know, she should be able to say it. It's just that we expect you to say it in some type of way.
Right.
But it's a way that if you say it, it's actually instead going to make us not want to listen.
Absolutely.
The way you speak your voice, you know, and it's the way you express it, we're gonna hear what you say. So
I think freedom of speech can be our biggest detriment.
Okay.
And I think what happens in these days is we do not put ourselves in other people's shoes.
We as who?
People in general, women. I'll never forget. I was in a store, very public store. I mean, it was busy, and I will never forget. I heard this couple arguing, and the woman was going in on the man. And all I could remember was me feeling like, what is that man feeling like in public? I felt bad for the man. It wasn't even about what the woman was saying and her trying to speak her case. It was about, I can only imagine what this man feels like.
Okay.
And I've listened to podcasts, I listen to lives, I read Facebook, Instagram statuses, and I hear from a male's perspective how they feel, them expressing themselves. And a lot of times for a man, it's hard for them to express themselves because they don't want it to be vindicated or used against them many times.
So, you know, right.
Yeah. And so I think as a woman, and even as a man, you have to date someone who's emotionally intelligent, who's self-aware, who has regards for other people, who loves themselves and loves other people. And I think then you'll experience a different dynamic.
Right.
No,
So, no, let me dive into another perspective. What do you think about, you know, because not me, I have friends that have told me, and also it's something that I've come to see, that some African American women see African men as the wallet. You know, like, okay, he's going to spend for me. He told me he was a king, he was a prince or whatever, yada, 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 yada.
Women.
First of all, not every African man you meet is a prince or is a king.
That's right.
Yeah, but that's what most of them put themselves, you know.
Well, maybe they
What do you
are
think
a
about
prince
that?
and a king. Maybe they are a prince and a king, right? Even if they don't have the material possessions, right? I think a man is still a king, a boy is still a prince, a woman is still a queen, a girl is still a princess, regardless of what they have or
Even
do
these
not
days, it's
have
still- yeah.
materialistically. Yes,
That's what it should be, or that's what it is.
I feel like that's what it should be. That's
Okay.
not
But
what it
it's-
is. Clearly,
okay,
we
thank
see
you.
that these days. We
Okay.
see the women these days. You know, they after the bag and they want the man that has the bag, and then they want the man that takes care of them. And
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the
So
day,
in
when you
return, what
close
happened?
those doors, what type of man, what type of woman do you have? That character.
return-
It ain't about because you can have the bag, but you're going home in tears and
Exactly.
crying every night because you're unhappy.
Thank you. Yeah. So, Tom Gaiolo, what before I come back to you, no, you didn't answer my question. So, what do you think about that? Do you think that African American men see African men as the wallet?
I don't always think that. I can't speak for every African American woman, but no, I feel like it's more so about that person. I'm not looking at it. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, you can't come over here without. You gotta have some
Nah.
substance.
That-
But when that's the only reason why you want that person,
Even
then,
when she got her own, it's still not enough. Tom Gaiolo, you've seen African men dating African American men. Do they come to you and say, "Hey, yeah, Tom, you know what, man? This African American, I'm just spending too much on her. Is she expensive to me?"
Yeah, yes. I've seen like at least 2 cases where the man was the wallet for the woman. But then again,
Thank you.
It was more of a situation where, you know, I don't know how to say it.
what if he's the wallet and she's cooking, she's cleaning, she's
No,
taking
she-
care of
she's
the?
not doing that.
Oh, see, that's an issue.
The
That's a
thing-
whole
the
nother
thing
thing.
Is that the thing is that in this situation, the guy
Oh,
knows his level,
Yes.
and the girl was the
taking
kind of-
advantage.
Yes.
Oh.
No. The girl was okay. It was a very pretty girl, and the guy was not good looking at all. So in that kind of situation, that's what he had to do to keep the girl.
So the money is the one keep the
Oh.
relationship. The money is a fuel. Is a fuel to the relationship.
Yeah.
He
That's
probably
what-
was getting
Then
cheated
also
on.
he was very what did you say?
Say he probably was getting cheated on.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because you have
No.
to have
Yep,
that chemistry, that connection, you know? We're visual. Women are too.
You show women a visual.
Oh, yeah. Women are visual. We see. We have eyes. We like what we like. I know it's always said men are visual, women are visual too.
Yeah. So
just
yeah,
saying.
that was the situation. That was the situation with the guy, you know. Then also he was very like what's the word? Infatuated or something with like the black American woman. You know. So those are the things that caused him. He was like the wallet. He kept spending.
But you have African American friends. What did they tell you? Do you have many of them that date African men?
No.
The thing is, she's different.
But you
So okay, so where I come from, right? I'm from
Yes.
South Georgia. So predominantly, what you're gonna see is African American, or you're gonna see African American, Caucasian. But you know, you're beginning to see a lot of more mixed couples. I will say that. So until I came to Dallas, I really was not even around the African community a lot.
So what? How'd you get into the African community?
So I had a friend who introduced me to my now church, and the church is of African descent, and my prophet is Ghanaian. So that's
Also, it's a
how I-
predominantly African church.
Yes,
Okay.
although it's mixed of all that good stuff. So that's how I became submerged in like the African community. All of my friends, well, not all, but a lot of my friends are of African descent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like he was asking you, you've not really seen any black American girls dating like
No,
African guys?
none of my friends.
None of your friends?
None of your
Not-
friends.
Yeah.
So
no.
you're not sure of any experiences, like you've not heard of any of the experiences with the African.
Not from my friends. No, I've heard it from.
Dominique, let her tell us.
So I've heard it from the African perspective of the guys who have talked to Black Americans.
girl. Okay.
Yes.
What did you say?
And I get so frazzled. It razzles my dazzle, right? Whenever I just hear Black Americans are rude, Black Americans are this, and I'm just like, you can't categorize every woman based off of your experience. And I get if it's like a resounding experience, I get that. But you have to give a person a fighting chance to prove who they are, to show you that they are different. Not saying that you should go into something like, oh, I'm fixing to see if she's, the same or different. You have to get to know that person for who they are. And then draw a conclusion
Yeah.
based off, hey, I like this person, or I don't, or they're just going to be a friend and not somebody romantic.
No, that's true. It's just that it's the perception. The perception.
That's it.
Yeah, those perceptions. Humans, we always have that perception.
Mm-hmm.
It's left for us to be more open-minded. I think.
Yes.
Okay, I think Africans are more open-minded than Black Americans. Because even if we might come here, even if we might come here and know that here, you guys are more expressive, like we mentioned, we're at least going to try. Then we'll see.
So
and meet someone different. Like I'm telling you, you're not the same. Like this, saying other girls.
you're different.
She's gonna say she does not cook. Like I've seen a lot of American women. They don't know how to cook. Like they cannot.
Like I said
But
before,
she
right?
said
I
she
had
has
this
no
girlfriend
issue
when
with
she didn't know how
cooking.
to cook. Every time she say, "Hey, what is the deal on the pizza? How many pizza we have for $20? How many?" I said, "Wait a minute. Right now these days, there's Facebook, there's YouTube. You can learn how to cook just about anything that you want to cook. But here's what I always say. It doesn't take a lot to make a man happy, especially African men. As long as you give them the respect that they need, right, Tamgelo? You give them the respect. You show them that they're the king, not that they say, hey, you're already ABC, you're already BCD, That's what they don't like. They don't like challenge. They don't like to be challenged, right?
Who doesn't?
The African men.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm glad you said that.
Oh yeah,
that was good.
Oh yeah, they don't like to be challenged because
Y'all don't.
we love our women, right? If we with you, we definitely. It's just that some African men, they come from a various, polygamy home. They feel like they can't keep one wife.
Right.
You know about that, right?
Yeah, I've
How
heard
you feel
about
about that? Yeah.
Absolutely not. And any woman who's okay with it, baby, I'm praying for you.
Wait.
There's a such thing these
He said
days.
about it's a culture.
No, I don't care about culture. I don't care about spirituality. I don't care about nothing. Polygamy, for me, is no. My name is not Neo, and I'm not a polygamist. I'm sorry. Because there's a such thing, especially if you are sexually involved with someone and you have multiple people, there's spirits.
That's true.
There are STDs. You get another woman pregnant, going on over there.
No, but I'm not a supporter of that. But for those who are in a polygamous home, they will tell you the advantage of it because there's not an advantage.
There's no advantage. I think that boils down to just you being lustful and not being content.
So, but the ratio of women to men is about 1-6.
I don't care what the ratio is. It's somebody out here. Somebody out here. You ain't got to be with everybody.
We don't count those who are in the clergy. We don't count gay and lesbian. We don't count those who say they don't want to marry. So there's still a lot of women out there. Who's going to be taking care of them? Who's going to be? I'm not supporting that. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking facts.
I get that. Women, hold yourself down until you find that right one.
Okay, women, hold yourself down until you find that right one.
Men,
men too.
No, I mean it still happens, especially with the chiefs, like the head of villages, the head of tribes.
Yeah,
they have to, like, even if they don't want it, they don't want to.
Could
like,
the chiefs?
They have to.
The chief,
no. It's a must. The chief,
it's
they
a must.
have to.
They must
have multiple wives. It's not even a choice. It's not. It's they have. The chief of my village has about 12 wives. Yeah.
So with his case, it's not. It's
I even
not
have
an option.
uncles that have like 3 or 4 wives.
Yeah. So is it a thing where it's like a wife for this, a wife for this, a wife for this?
No. They're all his wife. He just spend one day with you. He just spend a day with you. You just have to wait for your next day. He comes. He meet with you. You have babies. You just.
Miss me with that. I'm a one-man band, baby.
Thank you. So, Tom Gallo, so thank you so much. But there's a story that somebody sent to me. I want to discuss about the story. So, there's a story that I want to say that it came to me. So this woman has been married to this man for about 20 years. And there was they had a child. No, they didn't have a child. Actually, the woman had a child already. But this guy growing up knowing that his father was the man that was married to his mother, of course. Yeah. But he's 20 years old right now, and the mother tell him, the person that you think is your dad is not really your dad. That's, your dad is not really, that's not really your dad. Your dad is such and such a son. Maybe you should go ahead and meet your actual dad. And the gentleman is very terrified and very upset at his mother. Do you think she did the right thing or no?
So the mom told the child that, well, first of all, I'm glad that she mentioned it because a lot of times a lot of times you don't even have someone that'll tell you the truth. They'll take it to their grave. So I'm glad that she mentioned that. That's tough. That's loaded. But what I would say is that's going to take a lot of forgiveness. That's going to take a lot of communication.
Forgiveness to who? Who to forgive who?
I think he's going to have to forgive his mom. And I'm pretty sure his dad, his real dad as well. Thankfully, he had a dad, in that department. Mm-hmm. Wow. But I think communication is going to be the biggest key there. For sure.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
To me,
loaded.
It's a complicated situation because it depends on the age of the child.
He's 20.
I always feel like as long as a biological parent is still alive, the kid will someday find out. Mm-hmm. I always feel like it. So I usually think that in such a situation, at a certain age, the mom, the dad in this type of situation, both parents should can seek the child out and tell the child actually this is what's happening. Mm-hmm. But this is your dad. This is your dad. This is the person who loves you, who is raising you up. But we had you with this person. Mm-hmm. I usually feel like at some point, when a child is especially mature at a certain age, because again, if it's, I feel like if it's at a very young age, the child is not going to develop the bond with the current dad. So it needs the child to develop the bond for a number of years.
No.
Then maybe they can tell the child, okay, actually this is what, because again, like I said, I think in majority of the time, more than 50% of the time, a child is always going to find out their biological parent, especially if they're still alive, except they're dead. Or except they just moved to a different continent. But if they're in the same country, I feel like, because if it's not the child who finds them, that parent is going to find a way to look at that child. Then it's going to be more shocking for the child at that time, because then the child's going to go back and be mad and mom, why didn't you tell me? This guy is saying he's my dad.
Yeah, you're right. For me, I think that if you raise a child, that's your child, and some child, if you raise them, I've seen child that have been raised by father who are not the father, and when they've been presented the real father, they say no, I don't want to accept him because I don't know him. Yeah. This is a person that I know. Mm-hmm. This is a person that made me to be who I am.
Right.
So why would I accept another person? Where was it at? Okay, maybe just because you put a sperm in the lady doesn't mean that. Yeah, right. You're the biological father, right. But you're not you're the biological dad, but you're not the father. Right. Sometimes they say there's difference between the dad and the father. Your father's like who raised you up and who teach you the things and stuff like that, how to be a man and stuff like that. So
So even in my situation, sorry, just quick. In the situation I was talking, it's not actually when you're introducing them to the biological father. It's not like you are the child. I'm expecting the child to change and say, okay, I'll start loving this person. No, majority of the children, they're not gonna just go away from their dad who raised them. It's just for them to know. It's just for them to hear it from their mom, not from outside, not from people outside. So because then she's going to be more angry at the mom and the current dad. It's just for him to know that this is the situation, but this is your dad, this one in the house, this is the one who's raising you. It's just so that in case you see that person outside or people tell you stuff, you're already aware that your real dad is, your biological dad is this.
Is that okay?
And I'm pretty sure at some point that child had some type of discernment where he was like, I don't act like this person. I don't look like this person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And kids are so discerning these days that they will search things out for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, you either tell them the truth now or they're going to find out.
They're going to find out.
Wait. So you think that if a kid is growing up with somebody who's not his real dad will find out?
Absolutely.
I think they're going to, as long as the parent is alive, they're going to find out some way.
They will find out.
Like I said, either a lot of people are going to tell them, or that parent is going to come find it and keep telling them I'm his son. I probably actually find some other friends who tell them that to tell this kid that I'm here. So it's best the kid hears it from the mom first than to hear from outside, because it's going to make it worse.
Because anything that's been swept under the rug is going to come back. It's going to come out.
Like I said, except that biological parent has passed away, or they've just moved totally to a different continent, not even a different country. Not like, let's say, from the US to Canada, because it's basically the same thing. You need to move to Europe or to Asia, yeah, for the parents to be able to keep it again a little bit longer. But yeah, I think the kids they're always gonna know.
Wow. Thank you so much. We have came to the end of this podcast. Thank you so much, Tom Garello, for your time. You came, you made time, you came. Kristen, thank you so much. Why are you smiling?
Because I like to smile.
You like to smile? Do you listen to African music?
Of course I do. I'm a Burna Boy fan.
Wait, so Burna Boy is the only artist you know?
Love me, yeah.
No, you only...
She said Thames.
She's Nigerian as well. You only know Nigerians?
High Star?
I guess so.
Oh, wow, nice.
Nigerian as well.
I guess so.
You don't know any Cameroonian artists?
Is it Medea? Woodard? I don't know.